front entrance to the front lines. Go behind the scenes of America's most renowned restaurants on their busiest nights as we discover the magic behind the menu. A journey that takes you out of the everyday and into the fire.
Order 2-pound man with crab meat, order 3-pound man with crab meat.
Pick up a pork chop, baby.
Victor, listen up. Order 2 calamaris. That's 4 calamaris all day.
I'll put you on the list here. It's going to be about an hour.
Thank you.
I ordered stone crabs, and they were great.
We're full now. It's about a half hour, 45-minute wait from here on. Order filet medium. Order New York medium. Order broad tail.
Come on, man. I ain't got all day.
Schwartz party. Let's eat.
Order a calamari and a fritter, please.
Serpenteurs, 1 large, 1 grilled tomatoes.
Bon appetit.
Okay, gentlemen, how did we do last night? Down a little bit, and lunch down a little bit, a lot of it. Looks like we're gonna do close to a 900 day for lunch, right? Go about 800, 900 pounds. The crabs are always the challenge for me. That's my main concern, is getting enough stone crabs for Joe's. About 3,000 pounds coming in tomorrow, give or take. The reason people didn't eat stone crabs when we first opened in 1913 is because they had not been discovered by anybody, so nobody really knew they existed.
We called ourselves a hash house. You know, we were just common food, hash brown potatoes and the things like that.
And then in the 1920s, a marine biologist on the faculty at Harvard University came down here and was studying the marine life in Biscayne Bay, which is only 2 blocks from here. This person brought stone crabs over to the restaurant and introduced my great-grandfather to these crustaceans. Nobody knew how to cook them, how to serve them, what to do, if they're edible. And the 7 boats going out will help us for the beginning of next week. My great-grandfather Joe tinkered with them and discovered a way to, to cook them and then serve them.
And we sold stone crabs out the back door. That is how it started, till it became so big that we said, oh my goodness.
My first day here, I called my headhunter back up and I said, I'm leaving. I said, get me out of here.
We were not culinarily rocket scientists or culinarily advanced at the time.
And the corporate chef where I used to work, he called me up several times that year and said, are you done frying shrimp for a living? Are you ready to come back?
When Andre got here, we started to expand on the menu and really take a deep look at ourselves.
I think I probably felt, oh my goodness, are we changing too fast? Are people going to say what's happening to Joe's?
I had some of the family members that looked at me as an outsider and said, how dare you change the last, I think it was 87 years of our hard work, and now you're coming in here and telling us that we're doing it wrong. Pick up a ginger salmon with that.
And this was like pulling teeth. I was kind of resistant to it, but I knew we had to do it.
And I said, just trust me. Customer coming here, they can see what the old Joe's was like and what made it successful to this day, which is the hash browns, the coleslaw, the key lime pie, grilled tomatoes, and obviously the stone crabs. I mean, that's really the core of what Joe's is built on.
There has been a dramatic change in the quality of the food served here at Joe's.
My goal is to be known as the best restaurant in Miami. Not for stone crabs. We have that market locked up, but I want people to know they can come here and eat 2-3 times a week and not get stone crabs.
The food is the best in the country without question.
This year we have a great swordfish dish on the menu. We have a miso cod with Japanese pickled seaweed on top this year. I think our crab cakes are probably the best you're ever going to get.
About once a week we have a seafood chowder. It's like a Bahamian dish, and it's great. I love that.
Our side dishes we change every once in a while. This year we had a sauteed mushrooms on the menu. I know a couple years ago when I first started, we weren't known for our steaks, but we made a decision to go all prime. And ever since that, our meat sales keep increasing and increasing and increasing, and we're now getting notoriety as having some of the best steaks in town.
The chopped tenderloin is another item. That's one of my favorites. And also the cottage fried sweets. That's one of my favorite things, too.
There's truly not a bad dish in the restaurant.
Still have the barbecue ginger salmon. We have the teriyaki swordfish, the sesame seared tuna. Now we have the Chilean sea bass run as a special because there's a shortage.
You can come to Joe's and forget about stone crabs. There's so many other things to enjoy.
Come on in. This is the calm before the storm. Probably by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I'll be on an hour and a half to 2 hour wait, building to a 3 hour wait this evening. So it should be a great evening. There was once I put an odometer on me. I clocked in 18.2 miles in one night.
It's a big operation for a general manager. And you know what? I've never seen him lose it. He just plows through it till he gets it done.
The size of Joe's is approximately 3/4 of a city block. And anything that happens inside the city block is what I watch. The Garden Room was built in 1982. It was the first building South Beach had seen since the late 40s.
Brian, I think, started here in the early 80s. He applied as a server. Brian was always aspiring. I mean, he was an aspiring something. You could tell he wanted to move ahead.
When we needed a general manager, I, in fact, was one of the people who suggested Brian.
In this dining room, this is known as our East Wing dining room. Both dining rooms were built at the same time. Little known factor. Bob Hope's favorite table was that middle deuce there.
He has to deal with Steven. He has to deal with every other manager. He has to deal with all the employees.
Going into the room Jesse's, which is named after Jesse Weiss, the neatest part about this room is all the memorabilia and all the items on the walls here are all about the family. There is no such thing as a normal day in the restaurant business. Each day is different. They each present a whole set of new problems. It's never boring. It's never the same. Let's do it. Come on, let's go. Get on the ball.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Welcome, Joe's.
Johnny, you're breaking the 14, right? Give me a 10 and a 4. 10. 13's down. I got 110 coming in for NEO. I'm still looking for one more 10.
Coming up next on Into the Fire.
Now, pick up a steam spinner. What?
Guys, pick up.
Guess you didn't hear me. I said just do it because they're upset.
Well, they waited 20 minutes.
Is that table ready?
Now, pick up a pork chop, baby. Now, pick up a steam spinner. What?
Sean, I need these specials.
Order 15-piece grilled tomatoes.
Pick up a ginger salmon.
Potato.
30 in the pit. 30 in the pit, and then we'll flip the up party into the East Wing. By the time we finish our lunch today, we'll probably feed about 900 people. I guess you didn't hear me. I said just do it because they're upset.
When we open the doors on a busy lunch or a busy dinner, and you get hit all at once, your adrenaline just gets going, and you just do it.
No, I meant move. That's where I'm going. You big dummy.
The busiest lunch is 1100. We do that between 11:30 and 2 o'clock, so you know that we're moving at full tilt.
Hash browns for you, dear.
We have over 100 items in the menu to begin with. People don't realize that. And then you throw on a couple new specials on there, which are multi-components and require a little more cooking time. It's a challenge.
When you first start here, you're a bit overwhelmed. And I try to tell that to the new hires. It's easier than it looks, and don't be intimidated. Of course, it's easy to say since I've been here 11 years and it's day one for them.
I was blown away when I first started here, so I could not believe how busy a restaurant was. And there is no downtime.
It grows on you.
Mom really is the heart and soul of the restaurant. The heartbeat of Joe's is really the heartbeat of my mom.
My favorite dish on the menu is the fried oysters. And that's because I have to keep fighting them to keep them on the menu at $5.50 or $5.95 or $4.95, under $6.
I met Joanne 48 years ago, and we became inseparable.
We have chicken on the menu, we have chopped sirloin, and one fish that's all under $6.
Every year in the summertime, we always ask Joanne if we can raise the price of the fried chicken. It's $4.95. My broiled chicken's $4.95. She says no. I don't care if we lose money on it. You're not raising the price.
So that we can get people of all economic proportions in the restaurant to let everybody be able to avail themselves of eating at Joe's.
My grandmother is honestly the best person to work for. I'm not just saying that because she's my grandmother. Everybody loves her. She's very easy to talk to. She's great with the customers.
She'll clear tables and take the trays and help and pick things up off the floor. She's like that. I mean, nothing is too menial for Mom to do.
I said if my wife ever left me, I would try to marry Joanne.
Everybody says their mom is the greatest and all that. There aren't words to describe her. She walks on water. She really does.
The takeaway is different in the respects that it's catered strictly to people on the go. We have the ability to do more of a variety and more accompaniments to go with the stone crabs than per se the restaurant.
Takeaway is what Joe's is outside of Joe's. So we take a great care and pride in what we put in the to-go boxes.
The great thing about the takeaway is we get to be more creative, so we get to do wild mushroom lasagna, we get to do baked salmon cakes. We have a pastry chef and a whole array of fresh baked pastries. I mean, let's face it, by far, everybody wants the stone crabs, so we just try to provide a variety of accompaniments that are unique, unusual, but that taste great. We're a gourmet takeout establishment, and we put out an incredible product.
Liam, Zorro, Richard, Brock, Victor, Oscar, Tammy. Guys, listen, in addition to what Brian said, it's going to get a little thin here and there at the beginning of the night and at the end of the night. Your captains are your friends. Be nice to them.
A lot of restaurants stay open right through the day and they don't slow down. We literally close down between lunch and dinner. Couple things. First of all, servers, you're out of a few wines this evening. We had a great lunch today. It looks like we're going to have a great evening going into tonight, too.
In a lot of restaurants, I talk to other chefs in the local area that have dining rooms of 300-400 covers. Yeah, we did 800 covers last night, and, we were just rocking all night long. And I said, well, we did 1,700 last night. And they're blown away by that.
So when you are taking the order, remember, repeat the order back. Do it correctly the first time. Remember the house rules, CDC, coffee, dessert, check. And then check back with them constantly.
The grand total for one day, I think, is $2,088 for one day for dinner. Plus we had like 1,100 for lunch. So you're talking about over 3,000 people for one day.
We open the doors at 5:30 for dinner. It's immediate. It just moves like a freight train.
If you hear anybody throwing silver, say something to them. Say, Joanne's gonna kill you. Say anything you want to say.
Anything else?
Coffee, dessert, check.
CDC, that's the name of the game. All right, folks, Saturday night. Let's have a great night.
Coming up next on Into the Fire.
All right, here's the stone crabs. I'm gonna give you a quick instruction.
I need you to concentrate. Don't think too much.
On my way. I'm gonna start sending them back with Laura, okay?
Dinner tonight, I should be anticipating a fairly large crowd. 17, 18, 1,900 dinners. You know that you're moving, and you can see it happening. I know a lot of restaurants that would like to do 1,600 in a week. I mean, I'm amazed sometimes. I look at myself and when I'm driving home and do I really run this? Do I really work here? And are we really doing this much business?
Sometimes I think we do more than we can handle, actually. I think we do more people than I can, than I can imagine. To know that you have 300 or 400 people waiting to take the next seat, and to have people even behind that waiting. We can have up to 2 turns waiting to sit down at the same time is astounding to me.
I'll put you on the list here. It's going to be about an hour. Thank you.
It's amazing that people don't mind waiting 2-3 hours. I personally would never wait 2-3 hours for a restaurant. People do it because it's a night, it's an event.
The toughest part is keeping everybody happy, because there is a wait. I call it organized confusion.
There's so much pressure on the maitre d', on the bartenders, on the valets outside, and the kitchen. They know they're in for a long night, and the servers know it too.
Ennio, when yours breaks, you're going to put the 14 there. Still looking for a 13 and 2 10s. 13 and 2 10s.
Hey, Booty, order 2-pound man with crab meat, order 3-pound man with crab meat.
Order sauteed shrimp.
There it is. 2-pound man with
2
stuffing.
ginger salmon, 2 grilled
With a crab, one crab cake. Get a crab cake down there.
13's in, 13's down.
Yeah, crab stuffing on the 2-pounder.
Fire calamari, fire fritter.
I got 1 10 coming in for Ennio. I'm still looking for 1 more 10.
I need you to concentrate.
Yeah, tell me you
Concentrate.
Don't think, you think something.
Don't think too much. Can't stop worrying about that. Worrying about your
It is intense. It's intense. There's lots of trays moving around. There's lots of people.
My staff is extremely efficient and very good at what they do, and they do know how to handle the tables. They know how to keep the tables moving. We'd like to get you in. We'd love to feed you. We'd love to see you say goodnight and return the table. We don't have a table left in the house.
What's funny is in the kitchen they'll be like bickering a little bit or competing for where to land their tray or competing for certain, the jumbos. That's my order, that's my order.
We disagree, we get intense, but when you need something, you got 3 people behind you.
That's what you don't understand.
Come on, Eddie.
Baby, I want you working hard, because if you work hard, that means I gotta work hard.
That's the medium well, right?
Well, you got 40 guys on the line pumping out all that food. You got 40 waiters on the floor delivering the food. You've got 1 guy back here making all the drinks.
When we first open every year, all of us, our feet are killing us, our legs, it's exhausting. We get very tired. After a few weeks, you get used to it because you've been doing it for so many years, your body just, adjusts.
It can be a monumental task getting all that stuff out, but we manage to do it every night.
I'm crazy about the outside crust on the hash browns. I love that.
Ginger salmon is one of my favorites. It's fantastic.
We do a seared tuna that's just as good as any sushi place down here, which I like.
But my favorite is the grilled tomato. I haven't seen it in any other restaurant. They take a beefsteak tomato, slice it thick, top it with cream spinach, heat it under the broiler, then they take Wisconsin American cheese, shred it up, pile it on top, meld it all together. It's decadent.
All right, here's the stone crabs. I'm gonna give you a quick instruction. Quick instruction how to eat them.
Sometimes we do come in as a customer. I brought my family in, and of course everyone else is like, Mary Alice, let's go to Joe's. We can have stone crabs.
Keep the head part. Push it up and down. Falls out real easy. I like to use the back of the fork because it keeps it safe. That way you don't get cut.
We bought 3 fisheries in order to be able to get the best of the stone crabs that are brought in.
You dip it in mustard sauce. You mix that right quick. Right in, you pull it out. All right.
But the principal reason to be here is not the stone crab, it's to eat the mustard sauce. These are a vehicle to eat the mustard sauce.
I think if you go to Joe's Stone Crabs, you don't order stone crabs, you're doing something wrong. So I ordered stone crabs, and they were great, like they always are. Every time I'm in Miami, I don't think that I've ever been here that I haven't come to this restaurant. 20 years, even longer than that, I guess. I've been coming here for a long time.
Coming up next on Into the Fire.
Straight back and to the left. They're waiting for you. They're on dessert already. You better hurry up.
I'm one of the few people who work here who knows what they're doing.
I've got some good news for you two. My boss would like to buy you dessert.
Key lime pie is our signature dessert here, and original came from Key West, and Joe's have the best key lime pie on the wall.
We have one gentleman who makes it from scratch. We squeeze our own limes, make it a crust by hand, and he'll bang out 300 to 400 pies a day.
Sometimes people come, they say, I only come here for the key lime pie, the rest is a side dish. People make room for that. At least they fill themselves up if they have to taste a key lime pie.
When I first started here, the person who makes key lime pies wouldn't share the recipe with anybody.
Steve Wilson worked here, and his father was the key lime pie baker at the time, Paulie. He made a gazillion pies here.
And the key lime pie, you gotta taste the key lime pie. You gotta always try the key lime pie.
My favorite dessert, probably being that I love chocolate, would be the homemade brownie hot fudge sundae. But the key lime pie is the tradition.
Now, what are you getting this 13 too? But you've got that, right?
I've been working here now for about going on 27 years.
I started as a busboy in 1958.
It's gonna be 36 years.
21 years now.
I've been working here for 33 years.
My name's Brock. I work here 8 years. I'm one of the few people who work here and knows what they're doing.
Some of our employees have been here for an awfully long time.
I have customers that come in and want specifically to sit with certain servers because they've been sitting with them for years. And it's just such a great thing to say.
Gosh, I've been here since I was 8.
You truly know that you're cared about, and the family knows your name, and the family knows your family.
There are a lot of fathers and sons and mothers and daughters and fathers and daughters all working at Joe's.
That's why we have people here for 40 years and 35 years and things like that. They don't want to leave.
The success at Joe's is when the crew can buy their own houses, can put their kids through college. That, to me, is the success of this restaurant.
It really, truly is a family business.
I'm proud of the restaurant. I'm proud of our customers. I'm proud of the employees. Those things keep me going.
I hope it goes on forever.
I'm here. I'm here all the way to the end.
We love it. It's the best place in the world.